Welcome to the Bottle Poppin' Podcast, where Meg and Heather share their love for oils, friendship, and entrepreneurship. Let's get it poppin'.
Hey everyone, this is Meg.
Hi there, this is Heather.
And we are the Bottle Poppin' Podcast. So glad you are listening today because we are talking about an oil that many, many people love, and it's one of their favorites. So Heather, you want to share what bottle we're popping today?
We are popping open Breathe, the respiratory blend. We really like this one in our house. Smells really fresh. I've got it going in the diffuser with lemon today. Would you like to give your first impressions of the scent of Breathe?
Definitely. I mean, it's that eucalyptus and minty, opens up everything as soon as you smell it. So
yes,
it's so powerful.
The eucalyptus is what I smell first as well. Interestingly enough, the peppermint's quite high up in the ingredient list, and my kids don't love peppermint. They feel like it's spicy, but they love Breathe. So they don't seem to be bothered by the peppermint in this one. Do you want to list the ingredients that are in Breathe?
Sure. So this one has laurel leaf. It also has eucalyptus, peppermint, tea tree, lemon, cardamom, ravintsara, and ravinsara. So lots of really good opening up all the airways, essential oils in it. The ravinsara is interesting. One time, a few years ago, doTERRA had ravinsara as a free oil of the month. So if you placed your loyalty rewards program order by a certain date, then you got that for free. And it's one of my favorites. And it definitely smells like a lighter version of this because obviously it doesn't have all the other stuff in it. But I hope someday they bring it back. And I'm curious to see, like, there's only a few letters different between ravinsara and ravinsara. But I would love to, like, compare the two. I
dive deeper.
Since they sound the same, maybe they are similar in scent as well. So,
yeah, and I have that as well, and I'll have to go smell it afterwards just to kind of remind myself of that. That's not one that I use regularly, and I guess if everybody's a little, stopped up in the house, then I'll put that in the diffuser with lemon or something else, maybe even eucalyptus. But I don't think about that one versus Breathe is a go-to. My son is congested every single night, just at bedtime. I think we've talked about this before. And so Breathe is in a roller that he uses every night before bed, and he feels like he can get to sleep a little bit easier. And then he reapplies it first thing in the morning just to kind of start opening everything up and clearing that out of him. The why is a different story. We'll get into that another time. But the Breathe has definitely helped him feel like he can breathe a little bit easier. So we love Breathe around here. But I know that you use a different product in the Breathe line. Do you want to talk about what other products other than the oil are available for Breathe?
Yeah, so there's the oil in the regular bottle that is awesome for like adding to diffusers and that type of thing. Then they also sell it pre-diluted in a 10 milliliter roller bottle. So that's perfect for on the go. Maybe you feel like a cough is coming on, rub it on your throat. I just thought about this, but I loved that last time I flew somewhere, since right now we're in 2022 now, still have to fly with a mask on, but just rolling that roller on the inside of my mask before I put it on made it so much easier to breathe for hours sitting on an airplane with the oil. So it's awesome for that. Then they have cough drops that have this oil in it, and they are super effective. They are my husband's favorite cough drops. But my favorite product is the Breathe stick, which is, it almost is like a miniature deodorant stick, I guess.
Yeah, it's a good description.
Yeah. And you rub it on wherever, but I love, especially right before a workout, to put it on my throat and my chest. It just helps open up my airways. And that way, if I'm breathing hard, working hard, everything is still open, and I love it. And then it's also just amazing just for, in general, if you have a scratchy throat or anything like that, it gives you extra support there.
Well, and just to give a little bit more description on that one, it's the consistency of one of those rubs that you would put on, babies or adults, I guess, too. But when you're congested, you rub it on the chest or rub it on the bottoms of the feet. And so it's the stick roller that can roll up, but we use it that same way, putting it on the chest or the bottoms of the feet. But it's not so oily. It's more of, it's not really lotion either.
It's like a gel consistency almost.
Almost. Yeah. Yeah. A salve almost.
Yeah. Yeah. I know we're not doing a good job describing it, but you will want it and you will love it. Just take our word for it.
So obviously we've talked about the obvious reason that people use Breathe. I want to talk a little bit about one of the other ways that I have used Breathe, and I didn't know that I was specifically reaching for it this way. When my dog passed away a couple of years ago, I just felt like my chest was really just tight afterwards. And I couldn't take that big breath, when you're really sad about something and you've either been crying for a while or stressed about it for a while, and you just feel like your chest is really tight and you can't take that deep breath. I immediately gravitated towards putting Breathe into the diffuser and putting Breathe on. And it seemed like it just made sense at the time. It made me feel like I could take that deep breath. Interestingly enough, I went to the reference book that I have, Essential Emotions, the reference book that I went to look at when I was feeling that I was gravitating towards Breathe. And this is actually an oil that is specifically to help with grief as well. So I want to read one of the lines out of this because this immediately felt like it was what I was looking for. It says, individuals in need of Breathe struggle to take breath and literally feel suffocated by sadness. And so it's interesting that this is an oil that a lot of people use for grief too. And it worked so effectively for me. So I just want to put that out there for people that are in some sort of moment of grief or sadness, that this is a really good one to reach for. It's not one I don't think you would think to reach for, but it worked very effectively.
Yeah. I love that. And I love that your intuition led you to that. Like you don't have to have the reference book to know that this is going to help.
Yes.
Which is something you reached for.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Speaking of dogs, I just remembered another way that we actually use it often. Our dog, so we have a Mastiff. She's a big dog. And apparently this is something that larger dogs do often. But she has what the vet calls reverse hiccups.
Okay.
It kind of sounds like an asthma attack when she's having it. It's super scary. And of course, because she's so big, it's super loud. But it's a thing where they basically have hiccups, but it's instead of, I guess with hiccups, you breathe out and she breathes in. And so it sounds like she's almost gasping. But we will we'll just open up the bottle and hold it in front of her nose, and that will help. Or we'll put it along her back and her spine, and that helps her as well. The other thing the vet told us to do is actually, and this seems so cruel every time we do it, but you hold the dog's mouth closed and cover her nose. So it's almost like you're forcing her to hold her breath and then she'll stop. But generally, whenever she has these fits, I feel like it's probably tied to allergies or something for her. But when she has these fits, we'll also put the oil in the diffuser so that it's just kind of going throughout the house. And it's definitely effective. It's funny too, during those times when we have it in the diffuser, she will go like lay by the diffuser. Again, like that intuition kicking in, even for dogs, is pretty awesome. And so it's been a huge help for her and definitely puts us at ease, because the first few times she did it, we freaked out and took her to the vet right away. And the vet's just like, oh no, it's hiccups, just reverse hiccups,
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Breathe oil definitely helps in those situations.
That's a great tip. And just kind of to further the dog conversation, again, I've got Breathe and Lemon in the diffuser right now. My dog is just snoozing on the bed beside me here. Mm-hmm. Super cozy. When you're diffusing with animals, you want to be able to do it in a well-ventilated space or leave a door open so that if they don't like the scent of what you're diffusing, they can leave the room. I'm pretty mindful when I'm putting stuff in the diffuser of what I think he'll be able to tolerate or what he won't, or if it's something that I want to smell but I don't want to overwhelm him, I'll use less drops in the diffuser. And I think we'll plan on having a podcast in the future where we can talk specifically more about pets and oils. But yes, good tip on that as well.
Yeah. Well, anything else you want to share on Breathe oil?
Not that I can think of. We like Breathe, and I think it's a really good one to have when it's cold season. I think that, and even right now, it's temperature cold outside. Mm-hmm. So taking the dog outside for a few minutes or car to building, your nose gets runny within minutes of being outside when it's cold out. So smelling the Breathe just kind of helps me open that back up.
Yeah, totally agree. I did think one other thing I wanted to share. One of my favorite diffuser blends at night is Breathe and lavender. So that combo, first of all, it smells really good. But secondly, the lavender obviously helps you sleep, but the Breathe really helps with snoring. And so that has been an issue in our bedroom in the past, and Breathe definitely helps with that. But even if it's like you said, cold and flu season, just feeling like you need that extra support. It's so important to get good sleep when your body's fighting off an infection. So adding that to your diffuser at night is really, really beneficial as well.
Do you do equal drops of both?
I do. Yeah. I mean, in general, I'm not real good at following diffuser recipes. So I feel like I always do about equal drops of each.
We haven't perfected that top note and bottom note thing yet, huh?
Yeah. No. Details. Yeah. Not my thing. So yeah, I normally do, well, just kind of depending on the diffuser as well. So I actually have 2 diffusers in the bedroom. I don't use both of them at the same time, but we have the Lumo, and then we also have the one that is a humidifier.
Oh, the Dawn.
Dawn, yeah. And so with the Dawn, I definitely do more drops of each, maybe 4 to 5 drops of each, whereas the Lumo, it's more like 2 to 3 drops of each.
Yeah, the Dawn, actually, I think even in the little booklet, it says that it requires a lot more drops than the other diffusers do.
Right, because there's a lot of water in there.
Correct.
But if you're looking for an awesome diffuser to pair with your breathe oil, and I think doTERRA even has a combo sale for that, right?
They did for a while. I'm not sure if that currently exists, but yes, they did have a bundle, I guess, where they had the Dawn diffuser with breathe and possibly something else at the same time.
I think it was Serenity, breathe and Serenity, or breathe and lavender. So yeah, I will look that up, and I'll put it in the show notes for the show. So if people are interested in looking into that and the savings, it will be there in the show notes for the show. So definitely check that out.
And again, if you have any specific questions on anything that we've talked about today, or a question about anything else, or an idea for something you want us to talk about, please get in touch with us either at Bottle Poppin' Podcast or at one of our Instagram pages, and we can answer those questions for you.
Yeah, we'd love to have a conversation. Also, along those notes, we are excited to announce that we're going to be offering a Zoom class. And so this will just be a basics to essential oils. We'd love to have you join us. It will be on March 24th, which is a Thursday, at 7 p.m. Central, so 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And we'll be talking about the basics of essential oils. But if you are a listener and love the content we create and have extra questions, we'd love to have you join us there and ask questions. Also, if you know people who you think would really benefit by having these natural products in their home, feel free to invite them as well. It would be a great time to just learn more about how awesome these oils are. And we'd love to have you guys join us.
Yeah, so we'll have a link for that on our page. And then can you include that in the show notes as well?
Yeah, it'll be in the show notes. It'll be on our Instagram page. It'll be in all the different places. So you'll be able to register for that.
Great.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Have a fabulous week.
Thanks for tuning in. For more information, you can follow these bottle poppin' ladies at bottlepoppinpodcast.com. Tune in next week to learn about what bottle we're poppin'. Until next time, take care. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This podcast is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.